The transfer window has closed, and this time we're going through every single Premier League club and picking their best transfer. Are you ready?
I'm always ready, Theo. There has been some fascinating business. And the first team is Arsenal. Now, there's been a lot of transfer business, hasn't there, Theo?
There's been Gyökeres, there's been Eberechi Eze, Madueke, and even Hinsapi on deadline day, but we have to pick one to be the best, and I'm going to go for Martin Zubimendi, because although he cost 70 million euros from Real Sociedad, he was going to go to Liverpool a year before, but he said no, that. He's now an Arsenal player, and as soon as he got into that team, he's been a replacement for Partey and made their team even better. You see, in that midfield, he already connects with Declan Rice. How he's already got the chemistry, unbelievable. Arsenal looks solid. He's a forward passer. I think it's been their best business.
Well, I have to disagree, Theo. Good bit of business, but I've gone with Eberechi Eze, Theo, who is an England international at the top of his game. He's been absolutely fantastic for Crystal Palace, an absolute game winner. His stats, 148 games in the Premier League, 34 goals, 23 assists. Now, he's going to come to Arsenal. He's going to make himself a regular.
Yeah.
He's going to replace Gabriel Martinelli, who, by the way, has been a good player, but has not reached the heights that he should have reached.
No.
I think Eze is a player who can get 20 contributions a season.
And they'll need it because they've spent one of the most in the Premier League. Pressure's on for Arteta to get the job done, bring in a trophy, because the money they're really investing. And we've given our best transfer, so it's time for them to turn up.
Aston Villa now, and I've gone for a left winger who's only 25 years old. He is the forgotten man of English football. I'm talking about Jadon Sancho. Now, let's not forget how good a player this guy used to be. He was valued at 130 million euros. He was talked about as one of the most exciting players in European football, and his stats in the Bundesliga were spectacular. 9 contributions every 11 games. That is different level. He went to Man United. It didn't work. Now, that is true for a lot of people because that is a dysfunctional club. Jadon Sancho, you've got the chance to resurrect your career in a different place. Take it.
Similar to how Marcus Rashford did when he left from Man United. Look at him now, he plays for Barcelona. Jadon Sancho, everybody knows there's a player in him. At the end of the transfer window, Villa have done well. They actually saved their transfer window. Talk about best transfer. There was no transfer from Villa until the very last day. Harvey Elliott, we've got to give him a mention. That could be good business if he gets into that team and becomes a regular.
And talking about regular, Theo, there is a World Cup next year in the Americas. Jadon Sancho has played 23 times for England. If you have a brilliant season, why not?
And I agree with you, Dad. I'm going to go Jadon Sancho as my number one pick as best transfer, because if he turns it on, it's going to be great for Villa, and they need someone with a bit of magic right now.
AFC Bournemouth now, and it has to be Georgi Petrovic, Theo, who is a goalkeeper, 25 years old, Serbian international, and he came in on a reasonable transfer fee of 29 million from Chelsea. Now, he had a really good season out there at Strasbourg. He's come in, baptism of fire. First game at Anfield, conceded 4 goals, not his fault, but then he's kept 2 clean sheets and had 2 really good games. And if you look at his stats, Theo, he's highly rated for saves. He gets an 89 there for ball distribution and for his tactical ability. This could be a really brilliant transfer.
That's good business. And I must add to their defence, their left-back, Adrien Truffert from the French Ligue 1 for a great business of 13.5 million euros. It's about 10 million pounds. And he's already a regular in that left-back spot. Iraola loves him, and he's linking up well with the Bournemouth team and Semenyo, like he's been there previous years, and he hasn't. That, for me, is their best business. But we've both gone for good picks. They've done some more deadline day business to add to that defence. Iraola, with him in the system, you're going to have a good year at Bournemouth. And watch out for the new Red Star kid.
And I tell you what, every Bournemouth player should be proud of yourselves for how you're playing over those 3 games. Brentford now, and this is all about the players who left the Brentford Community Stadium. I'm not mightily impressed with the business they've done, but what do I know? I'm not the stats guy with the computer. Time will tell whether they've done good business. But in Matthew Benham we trust.
Yeah.
I've gone for a lad here who, when he was younger, he was England under-16s all the way up to England under-21s. He was talked about as the next great thing for England. It is, of course, Reiss Nelson. From Arsenal, went on loan to Fulham. He was all right there. 25 years old. This is an important season, Theo. He really has to do it now or never.
That's interesting. You haven't gone with one of the big names there.
Well, I mean, everyone knows him. I mean, he's on loan from Arsenal. If he can have a good season and become a regular, then it might turn into a permanent move. I hope it works out because I know how good he was back in the day.
Yeah, and he had good stints at Fulham when he went there on loan last year. So I'm excited to see more of that. I've just gone for Jordan Henderson. He brings leadership to the dressing room. He's straight into that squad. He probably doesn't cost too much. It's an underrated pick.
Is he going to play week in, week out?
I'm joking. It's not Jordan Henderson. I've gone with Dango Utara. Their club record fee of 42.8 million euros. You never think Brentford would spend that much a few years ago when they're playing at Griffin Park. He's already linking up well with Igor Thiago, their Brazilian forward. And I think, yeah, they've spent a lot of money, but he's a good player. Scored goals, a lot of them, and he's quick, like he was for Bournemouth last year. I'm excited to see more.
I think he's a good player, Theo, but I look at that price tag. I think he said £42 million, and I think, have you not overpaid? Which would be very unusual for Brentford.
It doesn't
I'm
matter
not
about overpaying,
sure.
Dad. They've sold Wissa and Mbeumo for big money. They've got 120 million euros to spend somewhere.
True.
This is just a third of it.
Brighton and Hove Albion, I've gone for Maxime de Kuiper, Theo, 24 years old, a left-back, only cost 20 million euros, and he's come from Bruges, Theo, which, if you don't know, has lovely canals, historic old buildings. It's a fairy tale place, and he's gone from there to Brighton and Hove Albion, gone straight into the team, and I argue that against Man City, he was probably the best player on the pitch. Good business.
Yeah, they've got a whole defensive Dutch backline now, goalkeeper and defenders, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But just to add, their other business, we haven't seen anything of them yet. They spent 35 million euros on an Olympiacos centre forward. He's not into the team yet. A lot of the new boys in their squad this year have returned from loans and improved at different clubs, but they're not new signings.
Yeah.
So the likes of Gruder we don't know about.
No.
But they kind of feel like new signings because they were on loan last year. So for Brighton, I'm going to have to agree with you. Maxime de Kuiper is our Club Bruges to Premier League solid pick.
I think it's important that he's gone straight into the team. So the picks that I've made today, Theo, I've looked and said, will they be in the 11? Because they're sitting on the bench. What's the point? Burnley of Lancashire now. Now, I've not seen your notes, Theo, but I'm sure we're going to agree with this one.
Easy.
So say it.
Jadon Anthony. I met him last year on an EFL shoot, but it's not because of that. He's bloody brilliant. 2 goals in 3 games in the Prem. Used to play a few matches at the Cherries in the
Yes.
Prem. And they sold him for under 10 million. Under 10 million for a solid Premier League level winger. That's great business, isn't it?
Do you know what? I think Bournemouth might have lost a gem there. Now, he was on loan at Burnley last season and his stats were very good.
Very good, yeah.
46 games, 10 goals, 8 assists. So he's a guy who knows where the net is. He knows how to put an assist in. He's already got 3 contributions in 3 games.
He does, so he's averaging more in the Premier League and he's got that experience, he's ready to step up. He even picks himself in his own FPL team. Take a look on the screen. So that is by far the best Burnley business, and it was business that they agreed on a year earlier with an option to buy, which they confirmed this summer, so it does count. But if I was to say one to watch from their business this year, it would have to be Ugo Chokwu from Chelsea. Don't know how to say his name. He's born in 2003. He runs through that midfield. He's tall. He's got ability to dribble and shoot. So Burnley, look out for him.
Chelsea now, this is the club who always does a lot of business, and I'm sure once again we've agreed on this one, Theo.
He costs 46 million euros. He's a forward and a winger.
Yeah, go on, say it.
There we go. Alejandro Garnacho. That is the best transfer Chelsea...
Excuse me, that Jeremy Beadle is up there, so come on, we'll cut that bit out. Tell me who's your pick for Chelsea.
But then he's bleached his hair. He's got his boys. He's got a new box. The family are ready to see. This is his new era, Dad.
Right, okay, thanks for that. Thanks, Jeremy Beadle. And the real answer is, the answer is João Pedro, isn't it?
It is João Pedro.
He has hit the ground running already. He's played 3 games. He's got 2 goals already. He's got 2 assists already. That's 4.5 hours of football. But my goodness, at Brighton, he was a good player.
Yeah, when Brighton left, well, you can see that Brighton are lacking a forward. In the first few games anyway, they miss him. He's so good. He's gone straight into that Club World Cup team and scored on his debut. And then started the Premier League as the highest contributor in the whole league. So I don't care what price tag you pay, you are the highest contributor in the Prem so far. If he can keep this up, it's incredible. And he's a second striker, but he's still got aerial threat. He keeps scoring from corners. And a special mention to the Brazilian wonder kid. Thogdad shares the same name with him. Esteval, 34 million euros. That's good business, isn't it?
He could be very exciting, Theo, but he's too young for me to pick. Now, João Pedro, you made this point, Theo, and it's so important. He is Premier League ready. 92 games, 24 goals, 12 assists. I think he can push up and be a guy who gets 10 goals, 10 assists every season.
And a big shout out to selling Madueke for 50 million. That's great business. Well done, Chelsea. They are good sellers, aren't they?
Crystal Palace now. This is a difficult one. They've not done a huge amount of business. Over to you, Theo.
Yeah, the best transfer Crystal Palace have made is a centre-back, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 25 years old.
Yes.
It is the club captain, Theo.
JD
England
Canvot.
International.
JD Canvot,
Come on,
Dad.
Theo. Jeremy
23 million
Beadle
euros.
is back. We
JD
know what
Canvot,
we're
we
saying.
all love him. He's the new Palace back line, Dad. Don't worry about Guehi gone. Oh, wait. Fabrizio Romano's calling me. He's staying, Dad.
Really?
Not Guehi, he's staying.
Really?
Yeah, he's confirmed. He just told me online.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, I'm
Then
just going to change
I'm
my
going
notes.
to change it to Mark Guehi, because joking apart, keeping him, after you'd lost Eze, you had to keep your club captain, your most inspirational player. We saw that this weekend. The goal he scored was incredible. He's a wonderful tackler. He's a great defender. Just an all-round important player for Crystal Palace. So keeping him, that's your best transfer.
And Oliver Glasner allegedly told the club he would walk if Guehi leaves on transfer deadline day, because he doesn't have enough time to find a proper replacement.
Yes, I respect that, Theo. If you're selling, your two best players within a few days, then as a manager, you've got every right to walk.
With European football to come as well. So keeping Guehi is their best transfer. We're changing the rules here. It's so good, he stays.
Everton, now I've gone for three players, Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish, because he has come in, 29 years old, Theo, hit the ground running, 3 games, 4 assists already. And the thing about this player, you've almost forgotten about him.
I know.
Because back in the day, he was worth 100 million euros. He was almost a one-player team for Aston Villa. Went to City, and then the straitjacket went on. It was as if Pep said, look, okay, you're a team player now. Don't try those dribbles anymore. Don't try those outrageous passes and assists. In fact, I want you almost put you in a pocket and don't be yourself. What we've seen over the last 3 games is Jack Grealish being Jack Grealish. He's back to his superb best.
Yeah.
And he is probably the most transformational, the best signing in the whole of the Premier League this season. I'd go that far, because what he can do, number one, is keep Everton up. And once Everton are safe, once they've got to like 30 points or whatever, Everton can then look ahead.
Yeah, and it's a big credit to David Moyes, who's letting the players be artists.
Yes.
Have their own say rather than he has the say with exactly what they do with the ball. And another player who's winning from that is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
Someone who I'm friends with, of course. He did my celebration at Leicester when he scored, if you remember that. And I think he's got a lot more goals to come at Everton. I think this is their best business because they permanently signed him. 28 million euros as well, which is very good value for what he brings to the table. Link it up well with the player you mentioned already, Jack Grealish. If I could say 2 picks, I'd say both of them. A special mention as well to Merlin Roll. Deadline day business from Freiburg. They've got him on a loan option to sign after. He's honestly up and coming.
Right.
I think if he can connect in that team, Everton are going to be firing all cylinders.
Fulham now, and I've gone for a 22-year-old left winger. He's a Brazilian international. His name is Kevin.
And his surname, De Bruyne, or what?
Oh yeah, nice one, Theo.
Just Kevin.
Kevin, so good, he's only got one name. Kevin from Shakhtar Donetsk.
Wow.
And by the way, at Donetsk, he smashed it. He got a contribution every other game. Now, admittedly, it's a lower league. Will he step up to this level?
Don't take stats for granted when you play for Shakhtar. Look at Mykhailo Mudryk, Dad.
Yeah.
He wasn't the best at Chelsea. I mean, things went against him and he didn't really get the time or the game time he wanted. But we're not going to jump a gun here and say that Kevin's the next best thing. I'm just glad Fulham did some business. I'll be real with you. I would have picked Tyreek George as my favourite transfer.
Yeah.
But that got broken down on the deadline day. And it sucks for him. Chelsea have a massive squad. And Tyreek George is going to be sat there on the bench in the reserves. He's got a 5-star potential. I'm going to speak in Football Manager terms. I really like him as a player, Angry Sacks. And he deserves to be a regular somewhere in the Premier League. And Fulham would have been able to do that for him. Hashtag free George. Free Angry Sacks. But I guess we agree on Kevin because it's pretty much the only business Fulham did.
Leeds United now, and finally there is a Bolton Wanderers link, because this lad, Theo, is the nephew of a Bolton legend called Alan Thompson from the 1990s. This lad is also a cricketer. He's come from Newcastle, Sean Longstaff. And I mean this, he goes straight into that team and he brings Premier League experience, he brings solidity.
Yeah.
Really good player, and we're seeing that already.
I'm going to go with the central midfielder who's actually starting. Because right now their midfield is Ampadu, Tanaka, and my man, Anton Stack. He is brilliant from Germany, Dad, the Hoffenheim lad.
I know this guy because I'm on Instagram, as you know, Theo, and his stuff pops up. He did this thing, Abbey Road, with him and the Beatles walking across Ellen Road. That's him, isn't it?
That's him. For a Premier League footballer to be doing edits like that, it's bonkers, isn't it? You don't see any other player like him.
It's so unique, and I love that, Theo, because So many footballers are stereotyped.
Yeah.
They're dull. You know, in an interview, oh, yeah, decent game, lads gave 100%. This guy's obviously got a spark, a creative spark. He's different.
He's going to be down Disneyland in his spare time. He's honestly mental. He's got all
Good
the
for him,
cartoons on the pitch.
in a good way. And,
Yeah.
I love that. And that,
Well,
that Abbey Road thing was
Not
great.
just his edits. I mean, if they lose one day and he's posting his edits, that's when things get worrying. The Leeds fans are not going to accept it.
Well, look, you've got
get
to
relegated, and
you have to perform on the pitch.
that's the thing. Anton Stack's going all out here because if Leeds go down this year, every single fan base is going to be roasting him for posting with bloody Lion King. I'm sorry. Like, let's find out what he does. I mean, if Leeds stay up, it's fine. And with a player like him, they've got confidence. He's a key pass man. He got one of the highest key pass averages in 90 for the start.
There's obviously a sense of fun there, you know?
Yeah.
Don't take life too seriously all the time. Occasionally joke about yourself, about others.
Yeah.
Liverpool Football Club now, and they've spent about €500 million, Theo. Are they buying the Premier League? But you've got to say, and I hate to say this, because the man as an individual is acting without class at the moment, has really let down the fans and the players at Newcastle. But Alexander Isak, the Swedish international, is a superb footballer. I will say that. His record in the Premier League is 3 contributions every 4 games. That's sensational. It's not quite Erling Haaland level, but he's a wonderful player and he'll be great for Liverpool Football Club. Although I will always say, you lack class for the way you treated Newcastle.
Well, he wanted to win trophies like his heroes Zlatan, and the Swede has gone to the club that has eyes on a quadruple. And maybe after $500 million of investment, they can do it, Dad. This is a British record transfer fee. Will it live up to expectation, or will that price tag weigh him down? Best transfers, we should be going for Ekitike. For the price tag, for the performances so far, he's just gone straight in there and every single game committed to at least a goal.
I think what you're doing, when you buy Alexander Isak, you're buying a Rolls Royce. So back in the day, when you bought Alan Shearer, or when you bought Gary Lineker, you know what you're getting
Yeah.
for. You're getting goals every single season. So Alexander Isak for Liverpool is a sensational buy. And I think now people will once again be saying they've got to be favourites for the title.
With this team, forget the title. You got to win the Champions League and the Premier League. You got to win the quadruple. You got to go out there and do something that Liverpool never done. No.
Nobody wins the
like
quadruple. No. That's too much to say quadruple. The Champions League and the Premier League. That's got to be their goal. You know, the FA Cup, the League Cup, almost so what.
The
in
two
some
big
ways.
dogs are the main. They're the heavy ones to hit. If they can win both, the problem is their defence is still a little bit shaky. That's the question. They did not get Mark Guehi on deadline day.
You say that, but Szoboszlai was player of the match.
Filled in at right back. We played a half-average Martinelli. And to be honest, Dad, we agree on Isak. Let's just hope he gets along with Salah.
Manchester City now, and I think we might have gone different here because I've not gone obvious, Theo. I've gone for a left-back, 24 years old, who only cost €37 million, Ryan Ait-Nouri. And I've watched this lad at Wolves, and I've said time and time again he should be playing for one of the big teams. No offence to Wolves. He's an Algerian international. Like I said, 24 years old. He can be a regular for the next 5 years. And to get that for €37 million, good business.
Yeah, they bought a couple Algerians in the transfer window, Dad. Ryan Cherki and Nouri, who you mentioned, and they both look decent. I mean, it's weird that you're going for a defender of Man City after the start that they've had. But yes, he's had some good moments. Another player who's had some good moments, who's not been consistent yet, is the Indonesian and Dutch lad, Reinders.
Yeah.
Tiani Reinders for €55 million. Yes, it's a lot of money, but he's got the quality. We saw in that Wolves game, the little scoop assist, one of the best touches in the Premier League. And once he understands his teammates in front of him, Marmoush, Haaland, and the rest of them, they're going to have a connection like none other. He's going to keep Foden on the bench for some time, I have a feeling. And I'm sorry to say that because I do like Foden, but overall, transfer window, I feel like we need to rank that in our next video because City have had an absolute stinker. Buying Trafford and then a few game weeks in on deadline day, buying Donnarumma. Why have you bought 2 goalies? It's a weird situation. I don't think goalies the problem. They aren't doing the basics right now. And once they do get their act together, they have a pretty good squad.
Yeah, City have not done enough. You look at the business Liverpool have done, and Arsenal to a lesser extent, and you think it could be between those two once again.
I've gone for Rangers, Ait-Nouri. Let's see if they turn up.
Manchester United, very easy for me, Theo. Out of all the transfers they made, Brian Mbomo from Brentford. Now, I've always admired this guy. His stats are brilliant. Attacking prowess, 80. Creativity, 78. So rated against his peers, he is one of the best. And also, in terms of contributions for Brentford, almost a contribution every other game. So what he'll bring to Man United is possibly 18 to 20 contributions in a season.
I never thought you'd bring up FIFA stats, Dad. What are you doing there?
Theo, this is what I do, you know.
You brought it from FotMob. Is that a percentage compared to the other wingers in the Prem?
It is. So it looks at his peers, and it's saying basically he's in the top 20%.
Well, I'll say the best transfer for Man United is their outgoings. They've got rid of the deadwood. We've said goodbye to Anthony, Alejandro Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford, even Sancho. The list goes on.
Okay, let me stop you there. Rashford and Sancho, in their day, were spectacular players.
Yeah.
You should be asking, why didn't it work long term at Manchester United?
I am telling you, Dad, sometimes players, they just need a refresh. They need a restart. They need to move country or club or just new environment. I'm not saying that, I picked Aston Villa, best players, Sancho, because they needed something.
Yeah.
They needed that.
But I'm making
United
the point.
Needed to get them out. Their fans were against them. It was all toxic. It was not nice. They've got a new Carrington and they need new players. And they've got a whole bunch of players. If I was going to go best transfer, you'd probably look Cunha or, well, not Sesko. That's the only one I wouldn't pick. But I think their outgoings is why the team could get their head together straight. And the likes of Mbeumo, Diallo, the pace that they bring to the team, they are looking much stronger again this year.
Newcastle United have gone for Yohan Wissa, Theo, another lad who has left Brentford and another guy who you put in your FPL because his stats in the Premier League were brilliant for Brentford. Not quite as good as Mbeumo, but I think for 58 million euros, you maybe overpaid a bit, but you've got a really good player. I hope he gets game time.
Yeah, it's been a weird transfer window for Newcastle, losing their best player, and they've had to recover. And they've got a Premier League proven man in Yohan Wissa. We've got to mention their record fee of Nick Woltemade, the German from Stuttgart, who's been very good in the Germany under-21s, and he's had one outstanding year in the Bundesliga. Let's see if he's up for it. What do you think, Dad?
I think good luck to him. We've met the lad. He's obviously a nice lad.
Good person.
I hope it works out, Theo, but sometimes it works in the Bundesliga, but it doesn't work in the Premier League. He's very young.
Yeah.
It might not be this year when you see the best of him.
I was in the stands at Stuttgart Stadium watching Germany, Spain in the Euros, and I met the lad, and he speaks great English, and he's a good person. We follow each other on Instagram, and I wished him all the best.
Yeah.
He responded to me, and I want to see him play. Anton Viscabasa, another YouTuber, is very close with him. He says when you watch him, he's tall, he's a bit of an awkward player, he's different, he's unique. When he's on the ball, magic can happen, and I want to see that magic at St. James's Park. So maybe Woltemade could be the best transfer, but I'm going to agree with you and be boring. Yohan Wissa.
Nottingham Forest. I get the feeling we might agree on this one. You say it, Theo.
It's got to be Igor Jesus, the Brazilian dad.
Come
from
on,
Botafogo, 19 million euros, great price.
Dan Ndoye, isn't it,
Dan Ndoye,
Theo?
the Swiss man. He was good in the Euros against England, but not just that. He's expensive, 42 million. You pay the price from Serie A,
Yeah.
but he's an Italian FA Cup champion. That's the equivalent anyway, the Supercoppa. I was there, I met the guy. Speaks good English, nice guy, head down. I think for Forest, he's going to have his head down driving at European teams and bring them success at places like Sturm Graz. They'll be loving it.
He's already firing. 3 games, he's already got a goal and an assist. Will he continue to work out in the Premier League? Time will tell, but I think it's a good signing.
Good business.
Sunderland, and this is the oldest player on my list. Defensive midfielder, 32 years old, Swiss international, Granit Xhaka. Now, of course, he was at Arsenal, he was at Bayer Leverkusen. He just brings incredible experience to that pitch, and it's so important for Sunderland to have him. He's played every minute so far. He's already got a contribution and assist.
The experience is key.
It
and
is,
they've already
isn't it?
got 2 wins out of 3. It's amazing what they're doing at Sunderland.
Astonishing.
In fact, there's so many transfers we could pick from here. From Adingra to Diarra, Xhaka, as you mentioned, Dad. The list goes on. But one man, they say don't fall in love with a lone player. This man you can fall in love with because there's an option to buy on the end of it. Enzo Lefebvre from AS Roma, Dad.
Okay.
He's quality. He's already scored a penalty in his only Premier League start, but not just that, he helped them get promoted. You ask Luke O'Nien, who his favourite player is, he says this man's on another world in the training ground, on the pitch, the same answer. For me, their best transfer. It's so good they got him on a permanent, he got them promoted, and do you know what? He's running the show again.
Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. This is very easy for me. It is Mohamed Kudus, the right winger, Theo. He's come straight into the team. 3 games, 2 assists already. I thought he was a wonderful player at West Ham United. That is a great buy.
Tottenham's best transfer this window was selling Ange Postecoglou. After winning a European trophy. After he said, wait till season 3, Levy got him out. And Tottenham fans at first were roasting him, as they usually do. But in the end, it was a clever move, thinking about the future, bringing in a manager like Thomas Frank who brings structure, a plan, and a future. You can see by their business, the likes of Xavi Simons want to play for Tottenham. Mo Kudus, who you mentioned. This all happened because selling Ange. That was their best transfer this window.
Having said that, this weekend they were played off the park by Bournemouth.
They will still be the same old.
Yeah.
They beat City away. Let's not forget that. There will be the same old problems. But Dad, I tell you overall, they will finish a lot higher than almost near the relegation zone. So give them time. Frank will get it right.
West Ham United, I've gone for Mateus Fernandes, Theo, a central midfielder, a young lad, Portuguese international, who came through the ranks at Sporting Club de Portugal, spent some time at Southampton. I think he's a very solid buy. Now, they might have overpaid for him. I must admit, I'm not that impressed by the business that West Ham have done. But this lad, I think, will do well.
Well, Potter's moved it to a back four in the last week, and they smashed Forest 3-0.
Yeah.
And a part of that back four were two players that I want to mention. Carl Walker-Peters, very solid in at right back, replacing Wan-Bissaka. But my favourite player, who got an assist in that game, El Hadj Diouf, or El Hadj Malik Diouf, as you may know him, from Slavia Prague. Diouf, West Ham fans, if they're not singing that.
Yeah, you got to sing that.
El Hadj Diouf will spit on you.
Yeah.
I'm sure they won't sing
well,
that.
I'm hoping they won't do what Luis Suarez did last week. Anyway, carry on, Theo.
Oh, carnage. That man, you can't stop him, can you? But El Hadj Diouf has already contributed to the team, nearly scored against Sunderland game week 1, and I think Potter is starting him as a regular left wing back. Left back doesn't matter, he'll do the job for you. That's the best transfer. I watched him at the Prague derby, ran the show, met the guy, signed a shirt, lovely guy.
And finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Not a lot of choice here, so I've gone with John Arias. Now, he cost 17 million euros. He is an experienced Colombian international, came from Fluminense in Brazil, where his stats were brilliant. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's Fluminense. It's the Brazilian league. This is a risky one, but you've only risked 17 million euros.
Dad, this transfer window, it's Wolves. It's Keeping Strand Larsen.
Oh, by the way, that is a brilliant Norwegian name, Keeping.
Strand Larsen, yeah. Keeping Strand Larsen. Great player. And they've kept him. You know, everybody thought he was going to Newcastle when he wasn't in team last weekend. Reality is he's injured. And he's not going to Norway international squad. He's going to be ready to score goals in a Wolves shirt with Wanky Chan, who's back scoring too. So Wolves need a saviour. And it could be Keeping Strand Larsen.
But Theo, if Wolves go down, will he stay?
Ooh! I'll end you on that bombshell as we end Premier League best transfer. It's time to discuss the worst transfer. How many likes for that video?
That has to be 5,000 likes.
Thank you for watching. Have a good night. See you in a bit.